trust Trump. The guy knows what he's doing. Here he was moments ago on the lawn of the White House, supervising a group of construction workers. Don't forget, he's a builder. And he decided that he wanted two big, beautiful American flags on either side of the White House. While there, he talked to some reporters, and he was asked about Iran.
Unconditional surrender. Two very simple words. A very simple, unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're not bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And we'll see. The next week is going to be very big. Maybe less than a week. Maybe less.
Okay, let's dive into this showdown between Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz. Senator Cruz agreed to get interviewed by Tucker, I guess. And Tucker was loaded for bear. And by that, I mean he was ready with some gotcha questions about Iran, the country that, according to Tucker, Senator Cruz wants to obliterate. Now, I believe that that's not really true, but a lot of people are opposed to our military escalation with Iran. Clearly, Tucker is one of those, and this is rough. This is tough to watch and hear, but here's what a little bit of what it sounded like.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay, this is cute.
It's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
claims, know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Now, my friend Mark Davis posted after he saw that last night on Twitter, on X. Mark said, what a stupid sophomoric game being played by Tucker here, to the surprise of no one. Almanac factoids mean nothing if they are not accompanied by policy wisdom. Those debates can be had, but not in a bad faith atmosphere like this. Now, look, I don't want to make this about Tucker or Ted Cruz. For his part, Senator Cruz posted on social media, I did a long interview with Tucker. He released a snippet playing a gotcha on the population of Iran. I declined to play that silly game. Watch the full 2-hour interview where Tucker attacks Trump, attacks the, quote, AIPAC lobby, unquote, and falsely claims Iran is not trying to assassinate Trump. Look, this is a tough battle. This is a tough issue. I'm not a fan of gotcha interviews, but I also know that Tucker represents a point of view that we should not ignore. There are lots of people who elected Donald Trump who don't want us to escalate with Iran. I don't agree with that, but I understand it, and I'm certainly not going to shut it down. Let's see what you think about what you just heard. 800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. We've got an open line. Join us. Tracy had a good idea. We got to come up with some Trust Trump T-shirts and bumpers. We got to get a whole line of merchandise. That's going to be my new We should get on that. Let's get Rob Ellis on the horn and see if we can't get the Mike Gallagher store to produce some Trust Trump swag, some memorabilia. Here's a text from Louisville, Kentucky. Well, Mike, that clip of Senator Cruz and Tucker Carlson just destroyed any respect I had for Tucker. What happened to him? Another one writes, as much as I've always liked Tucker, I agree with you that these teaser videos with Ted Cruz and gotcha moments were just clickbait. As I say, I like Tucker, but I trust Ted Cruz. I trust President Trump. I just had an argument with somebody on my team. I don't want to mention any names, Christian, but Christian was arguing with me. I don't think those are gotcha questions. If you're going to go to war with Iran, you need to know what the population demographic is. You need to know what the breakdown is. You need to know the ethnic. Look, I know I'm a simple guy, and I'm not as smart as either one of those guys, but I don't need to know what the, as Mark Davis put it, almanac breakdown is of the population of Iran to know that the mullahs, the barbaric 18th century mullahs, want to destroy Israel. They want to kill Americans. And they already have. They've killed hundreds of Americans. And they've been promising to kill us forever. Let's get the job done. Let's help Israel. Let's stand with Israel. Joe is in Illinois. Joe, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. Hi.
Mike, great show once again.
Thank you.
Besides the fact this appeared just to be all about Tucker, I just wonder, when does the left-leaning mainstream dinosaur media attack their own so viciously? I think he was just self-promoting, and it was despicable. You never had a serious conversation.
You make a great
about
point.
A serious topic. Yeah, being such a
and a nuanced topic, Joe, a complicated topic. This is not easy. Trump has the weight of the world on his shoulders right now, but you make a great point. You never see people on the left do that to one of their own. Never happens.
Mike, may I add another thing?
Sure.
I recall before the U.S. invaded Iraq, as bittersweet as that mistake was, Saddam Hussein threatening, saying American soldiers would be swimming in their own blood. When I hear the mullahs talk about how they're going to punish us, I just recall that.
Well, it's another good point, Joe, and I appreciate your kind words. You know, I saw that the counter-narrative from those who don't want us to escalate, well, Iran's been developing a nuclear weapon for decades. How long you want to wait? You want to roll that dice? You want to take a chance that they're bluffing? I thought all the intelligence confirms the Fordo mountain, the nuclear infrastructure buried deep in that mountain. All right, take it out. If we've got the bunker buster to do it, take it out. But again, like the former cop and military man in South Carolina said, who am I? A big mouth talk show host. It's President Trump who's got the decision to make. And it's a tough decision. It's a complicated decision. But do you know how much joy I have on my monitor right now watching Trump kind of supervise the construction workers? And these guys have hard hats on. They got a giant crane out there, and they are installing big, beautiful flags, 2 of them outside the White House. And it's just such a neat moment. You know, it's like we're back. Patriotism is back. Love of country is back. American sovereignty is back. And honestly, we're at a point right now where we're definitely, Trump has a major decision to make regarding what we do with Iran. Mark Levin from Fox News, the great one, a guy I like a lot, says you're either with Trump and taking on Iran, or you're not a patriotic American. I mean, Mark put it in very stark terms in his characteristic rage last night on camera. Here's what Mark Levin said.
And we have morons, fools running around the country. This isn't MAGA.
This isn't MAGA. This isn't what I voted for. Donald Trump is a forever war president. How so? He's going to do what every president before him since Carter didn't have the guts to do. He's going to put an end to this damn thing. And that's what needs to happen. That's not a warmonger. That's a peacemaker. That is a man who's going to make sure this generation and future generations are protected from nuclear missiles coming out of the Middle East, from barbarian primitives from the 7th century. That's what he wants to do. And then I hear the questions. Oh, won't this create a bigger war? Really, with who? Tell me which Arab country has stepped up and said, you know what, we're going on the side of Iran. They're doing so great. The Israelis are kicking their asses left and right, and the U.S. hasn't even gotten involved directly. Yeah, so where are they? They're nowhere. How about China? Nowhere. How about Russia? Nowhere. What happened to World War III? There is no World War III. They all sound like a bunch of Marxist Islamists. They don't sound like patriotic Americans. Let me be clear. This is good versus evil. You're either a patriotic American who's going to get behind the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, or you're not.
All right. There. What do you think? He's laid down the gauntlet. Remind me never to get Mark Levin mad at me, okay? Promise me to remind me if I ever... No, and I love the guy. I do. I've read his books. I've devoured what he written about the Supreme Court. He's a smart guy, passionate guy. You're either a patriotic American in standing by the Commander-in-Chief or you're not. Over on One America News, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene made her case for opposing military escalation with Iran.
We've watched for decades propaganda news. I'll call out Fox News and the New York Post. They're known to be the neocon network news. We have propaganda news on our side just like the left does. And the American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true. Prime Minister Netanyahu said, I saw on video, he said today that America first is America dead. And that sounds like a threat to me. And I completely disagree with him on that. In order for America to not be dead, it's to stay America first. And this is what the American people want. It is not anti-Semitic to say that we do not want to go to war against Iran or any other country. That is not anti-Semitic at all. It's actually rational, it's sane, and it's loving to people all over the world. A Middle Eastern war will pull America back 20 years, just like you showed in your intro for your show. It's exactly the lies that we were told after 9/11, and many people know it's not true. So I'm completely opposed to this war. Of course, we don't want to see the people in Israel bombed, but they're only being bombed because Israel attacked Iran first. And that's the truth that we need to be talking about.
Now, a couple things to unpack from what Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene said. First of all, she's right. It's not anti-Semitic to oppose us stepping up efforts to bomb Iran and to escalate with Iran. We can't always go down that rabbit hole and say you're a bigot if you want America first. But incidentally, I just have to respectfully correct her. Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi did not say America first is America dead. That is not at all what he said. And I'm doing this from memory. I mean, the team here can give me the actual words. But what he said was, I like America first. I don't like America dead. So Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene characterized it as him saying that the America First movement means America dead. That's not at all what Bibi said. So I just want to kind of set the record straight. 800-655-MIKE. Philip in Portland, Oregon, disagrees with military escalation regarding Iran. Hi, Philip. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, I like your show. I like your positions. I like how you kind of allow all the positions as, hey, this has merit. But I think in June of 2025, we should not be involved physically with Iran, Israel is doing a spectacular job of taking our weapons and their courage and giving them the beatdown they deserve.
Right.
If it escalates beyond that, I think we can get involved. But right now, they're doing a great job. They got guts. Sometimes guts is enough.
Well, and again, that argument has merit. I'm not going to shut it down. I have to ask you, though, it sounds like escalation means, as I understand it, as we understand it, providing this so-called bunker buster bomb that is capable of taking out their nuclear facility it's called Fordo. And evidently Israel doesn't have that capability. Would you be in favor of us either directly flying our aircraft over that facility and dropping that bomb, or providing that somehow to Israel to do it? I mean, is that level of escalation acceptable in your mind?
No, not in June of 2025. I don't think so. I think Israel has to be the deliverer of any ordinance that takes Iran out.
Got it. Okay, appreciate it, Philip. Let's see what others have to say. 15 before the hour, one open line, 800-655-MIKE. Incidentally, text from North Carolina. I'm surprised Trump isn't putting those two big flags up himself, being king and all. Well, kings don't do that themselves. Kings have minions to do that for them. One thing about Trump on a personal level, all the times I've interviewed him over the years, every time he called into the show, Eric was always astounded. It was never, please hold for the president or please hold for Mr. Trump. It was always him. Yeah, hi, it's Donald Trump for Mike. Is he around? I'm ready to do the interview. He always calls. He just picks up the phone and calls. We've never, ever seen an era like this, and we probably never will. We probably never will.